Phenomenal job. Thank you, David, for imparting your wisdom on all of us. I think we're better for it. Right? All right. Awesome. So we're going to bring to the stage, guys, listen, by the way, you got to see the lineup that's coming up. The powerhouses that we have amongst us. You may not know who they are, but I believe you've seen the itinerary for the most part, or at least the headliners and the speakers and the people who are going to be on the panel. We've got the best of the best. We lined you up big time. Don't go anywhere. I promise you, you're not going to regret it. The diverse amount of mindsets is out of control. Like, these are people who inspire me specifically, and so I'm looking forward to that. Stay in your seats. We're almost done. Don't become restless. Dave, am I bringing up Mr. my one of my mentors? One of the individuals that I look up to and inspire me on a consistent basis? I am, because he's right there looking at me. His name is Tony Martinez. Damn. All right. We got a cheering section for you, man. All right, give it up for Tony Martinez. Come on up, bro.
Tonight, I just want to take you
You're mic'd up?
All right. Can you guys hear me okay? All right. So listen, passing out those 20s at the beginning of the thing worked, huh? You saw the reaction? Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm Hispanic. These are all family.
By the way, Tony, I don't mean to interject. Timer's not on yet. Candidly and emphatically, one of the best public speakers I've ever had the privilege of listening to and getting to know. You're in for an absolute treat. Listen up. The man has wisdom beyond belief.
It's called being old, bro. Thank you, brother. All right, guys, let's get to work. I got 15 minutes to make a difference. First of all, I'd like to thank Rudy, New World Title, Dave, for everything they're doing. Is this amazing? Give it up for them, everyone. All right. All right, so listen up, folks. When you look at a title like The Coming Wave of Foreclosures, I know what you're thinking. He's the comic relief, isn't he? No, I'm the Grim Reaper. I'm sorry. That's my other title. Well, let's see, this works here, supposed to? There you go. How about that for a title? Oh, shift! A foreclosure wave is coming. So here's what happens, folks. There is a change. You've heard it all day. But I am encountering some obstacles and some challenges in trying to wake up my fellow realtors. So I'm not here to cheer you up. I'm here to wake you up, because I've been doing this a while. Let me ask you something. How many of you were licensed in 2008 when the world came to an end? Not a lot of hands. So it's been repeated several times throughout the morning, is that a whole lot of us have never been through a difficult market. So here's what I'm faced with. Every single time I get in front of a group, whether it's Zoom, on the phone, or whatever, and I'm saying, guys, there's a wave of foreclosures coming. We need to get ready. This is the reaction I get. And that's when they're being nice. Now, I can understand a regular agent, a newbie, someone like that having that reaction. But you know who else reacts this way? CEOs. CEOs and leaders of big companies are acting like nothing is going to happen. How has it become okay to say that there's going to be fewer agents? You've heard that more than once today, right? There's going to be fewer agents next year, but there are not going to be any foreclosures. I think Tom Ferry's great. Didn't he do an amazing job this morning? Yeah. Well, guess what? He said there aren't going to be any foreclosures and short sales. I think he's wrong, because they never went away. Now, are you familiar with the term, we're all entitled to our own opinion, but not our own facts? Are any numbers people in the room here today, people that actually look at numbers? All right, I made up a few numbers for you. Just kidding. These are real. So get ready to write, because this affects you. Let's start out with the 5 top states for foreclosure starts in the third quarter this year. Look where Florida's at. Florida has traditionally been in the top 5. Pre-pandemic, well, during the pandemic, there weren't any foreclosures because of the moratoriums. But now that those are gone, it's starting to heat up again. And very intelligent, successful people will tell me, but there aren't any foreclosures. I guess they're looking at different numbers from me because look where we stand. What's going on as far as nationally? Well, the numbers are up in a major way against last year. Now, I know what you're thinking. There weren't a whole lot of foreclosures for the last couple of years. I get you. But we're already starting to approach pre-pandemic numbers. Now, we're nowhere near 2008 or 9 or 10. And I'm not saying that we're ever going to get to that point. I'm not saying that we're going to have a market crash. But we are certainly going to go through a heck of a lot more foreclosures than you've seen before. So what else do we have here? Foreclosure starts third quarter. Previous quarter, mild increase. That's kind of like a law that makes people think, oh, everything is going to be okay. But up big time against the year before, 167%. Now, this is the other thing I hear all the time. It drives me nuts. This is why I don't have that much hair left. People will say, well, there aren't any REOs. For those of you that are new, REO stands for real estate owned, right? These are properties that the banks have foreclosed on. Well, tell that to the 21,000 people that lost their homes if there are no REOs. Up 30% over the first half of 2021, 113% over the first half of 2020. Look where Florida is. States that posted the greatest number of REOs. Florida. But we're okay. Metropolitan areas that had the greatest increase in the number of foreclosures. Miami, and we're number 5 by 1. Might as well be tied with Philadelphia. So am I making my point here? You ever heard of zombie foreclosures? Properties that have been abandoned. 1.3 million across the country. Now tell me something, when someone is in foreclosure, give me a logical reason for them to abandon the property. There is no logical reason. It's because they didn't have someone say, hold on a second, this is still your home. Stay here until the last possible moment. And then stay there afterwards so they can give you some money to get the hell out. Right? But we're not mobilizing. We're just sitting on the sidelines watching what's going on, wishing for better days. Forget that noise. Wait till they start hitting the markets. Now take a look at these factors. All right, and this is why I don't get invited to a lot of parties. People are like, hey man, should we invite Tony? Oh, hells no. He keeps talking about the world ending and stuff. Okay? So you know that the Supreme Court said no mas. All right? Foreclosures are back. But, what happened yesterday? They raised the rates 75 basis points. Are they done? No! Not with inflation still at 8.2%. It's going to get real, people. Now let me ask you something. Have you seen Americans borrowing against their home? Please say yes. Because Americans are using their homes as ATMs all the time. Remember HELOCs when there were no HELOCs? What's back now? HELOCs. Are those fixed rates or are they adjustable? What's happening to all these people that borrowed against their homes, right? Keep an eye on this. Unemployment, not an issue yet. But let me tell you something. Are you seeing the reports of all of the big companies that are starting to lay people off? It's going to get real, folks. See, we're the tip of the spear. You have a choice. Man, this guy's making sense. Let me get ahead of the game. Let me get in front of the competition. Because most agents won't do that. Most agents will just chase the market. You have a chance now to create your market. When the unemployment rate goes up by about 1% or more, we're going to see another 1.2 million or more unemployed Americans. It's starting to happen, folks. What about consumer debt? Have you noticed that there's talk that we're in a recession, but people are still spending money like drunken sailors? Everywhere you go, every restaurant is full. Well, that's because we are $350 billion more in consumer debt than we ever were before. We're just borrowing against the credit cards. Recession. Are we, aren't we? Let me give you the definition of a recession. Ready? When your neighbor loses their job, that's a recession. When you lose your job, that's a depression. Have you ever heard it explained like that before? People go, hell, that makes sense. I get it. Are we, aren't we? Well, 97% of executives, when surveyed, said, yeah, we're in one or we soon will be. Come on, folks. Anybody that follows economics knows that just about every situation where inflation's gone nuts and the feds have started to raise their rates, what do we end up in? A recession. They have to do it. They have to slow this economy down. Now, this is even more great news. Man, I ain't done. You know that Americans, we're famous for saving stuff, right? We save all the time. No. Our personal savings have fallen off a cliff. That's the name of the headline. The reality is that 2/3 of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. This is the real situation that's going on in the market right now. Housing bubble. A year and a half ago, I acquired the CDPE, the best training program there is on distressed properties and short sales. And guess what? I was ridiculed. People told me, you're nuts, you're insane, nothing bad's ever gonna happen. This is the greatest market and everything else. And I was saying from the very beginning, this can't last. You can't have 10 years of appreciation in 2 years and expect this to be the norm. And they laughed. And I kept at it. But anyone that does their research, how many of you were licensed again in 2006 and 2007? Remember when that word bubble came up back then? Who fought that word more than anyone? Realtors. You know why? Because we get high on our own supply. We weren't going to accept the fact that there was a bubble until it burst. And when it burst, did it burst gradually? Hells no! It was overnight. And then people ask me all the time, like I'm some kind of a guru, is it gonna be as bad as 2008? That's a fair question, right? All right, so let's look at 2008. In 2008, that rock, a distressed homeowner was standing on that rock with a 100-foot tsunami coming their way. That's how bad it was. 2023 is only a 20-footer. Now, you stand on that rock with a 20-footer coming your way and say, thank you, Jesus. It's only a 20-footer coming my way. Anybody have kids that ever had 104 or 5 fever? Yeah, were you freaking out? Yeah. When they were down to 102, did you say, oh, thank God it wasn't as bad? No, it's still bad. For every single person that's going to lose their home, it's going to be bad. Then the question comes up, are we going to get more short sales? What does it matter? You know what I hear all the time? I heard it this morning. Well, Tony, there's so much more equity in the market nowadays. We're not going to have the same situation. And I go, okay, maybe you're right. I think to a certain extent you are. There is more equity right now. The way it's going, Now, ask the person that bought their home in the last year or two that bought at the top of the market, FHA, with only 3.5% down, and now their prices are going the other way. Ask them how they feel about all that equity right about now. So here's the thing. How is it remotely possible that somebody with equity would allow the bank to foreclose on them? It's insane. If they have equity, shouldn't one of us list that property for sale, put it on the market, and let them walk out with some money? Of course, that's way too logical. Why isn't it happening? Because there's not enough of us mobilized out there approaching these folks. So I'm going to introduce you to the distressed property market. Let me tell you something. It ain't sexy. Luxury is sexy. Oh, you know who you are. I ain't never seen anybody do a selfie with a short sale. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't happen. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that word. You know, it don't happen. Oh, look at this house they're about to lose. Yeah, no, it ain't sexy. But you know what it's also not? It ain't crowded either. This is a market that's untapped. Folks, our pie is getting smaller. You agree with that, right? There's 1.6 million of us. I could throw a rock in here and it'll hit an agent, but that's okay. I could throw a rock in the parking lot of any Winn-Dixie or Publix and it would hit an agent too. So when the pie gets smaller, shouldn't we look for areas of opportunity to explore that are not crowded? Yeah. And if people go, oh man, you got me, except I don't know what the hell a short sale is. Oh, that's when you're underwater, brother. That's when you owe more on the property than the property can be sold for. We go on a contract, we sell it, we go to the bank and we beg, plead, and we say, please take this so these folks can avoid it. Yeah, and I teach you all this stuff. There is chaos, but there's opportunity. Opportunity to grow your business and opportunity, most importantly, just help people out, right? Because there's at least one person in this room that's lost their home to foreclosure in the past, and you know what they're going through. Let's be that advocate. Let's be that change. I think I can help you with that. I don't think anybody can teach on this topic better than me. Forgive my lack of humility, but I believe that I can preach it. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I can help you, folks. I can teach you soup to nuts, but I don't work for free because you know what? I'm an unapologetic capitalist. That's right. My parents did not leave Cuba for me to give my stuff away. So I got a deal for you, though. If you sit with me for an entire day in a live in-person class, or you take my online version, which is available on November 11th, I'm going to teach you what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. That sound good so far? And I got a couple of live in-person classes. If you like my energy, if you like my passion, you think you can put up with me for an entire day, if you have a chance to catch me live, do it. Orlando the day before NAR, and Sunrise, baby. Now, don't tell me this is a trip. It ain't. All right, folks, here's your deal, $399. $399. Go to my site, use NewU100. NewU100, I spelled U, Y-O-U, and Y-U, and why not? That's a code. I'm out of time, but how did I do?
Man, oh man.
Thank you.
Hold on, mic check, mic check. Hold on, Tony. They should all be thanking me right now, because this was my idea.
Oh, thank you, brother. I
This
love
guy
this guy.
is the man. Yes or no?
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Bless you.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it.